Hello again. So, I don't know. As we get nearer and nearer to the end, or the beginning, I put out more and more information that is easier to interpret if you just take the time to do something. And you either know the answers or you're afraid of the answers. You don't want to be proven wrong. You don't want it to end negatively for you. So you choose not to see and you walk around blindly. So who, whoever watches this video, who thinks that they can start and finish taking a jigsaw apart that is like this? This is the thrill of the chase. This is your task. You're given the poem and you can start and finish it according to Hoyle. Who thinks they can start this poem and finish it with a solution? This poem that you see before you. This interpretation of the poem. He's in it. Start with the first one and take them all apart till we get to the end. Nope. No. No. You can't start. You can continue to take this jigsaw apart, but you cannot start to take it apart. It's already started. There is no way on God's earth that you can start dismantling this poem. Somebody's already started it. You can continue to take this apart. Now, that's what you did. You continued with nothing. This is your first clue. And without it, you have nothing except the narrative because you started with nothing. There it is. There it is, nothing. There is nothing. Try starting to take this jigsaw apart with the nothing that you have. Take it apart. There's your first clue. Carry on. No, do it. You reckon you can do it? Do it. There it is. There's your first clue. Take it out of the jigsaw and start taking it apart. What do you mean you can't? You can do a solve to a poem without the first clue. You can actually start this poem without the piece of the jigsaw. Amazing. You know, I thought you were good at some things, but I didn't know you were that good. That you can start with nothing. Here's your first clue. Finish what has already been started. No, you can't. There's a piece missing. Oh, the first clue is missing. And yet you managed to do that with the poem. The first clue is missing, but you managed to complete it. You see, what you did was you didn't care. You made up that first piece and you started because you thought you could start anyway. You thought the process of you going into the poem and starting with the second clue or any made up clue that you just put in there to fit You thought that was enough. Absolutely pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. When the person that sets it up says to you, if you don't have begin it where warm water's hot nailed down, you have nothing. You proceeded to take nothing and carry on from there. And guess what? You took this jigsaw apart. Absolutely did. And you're 100% convinced that you started it and you took it apart. You didn't start it. You didn't start it. No, you didn't start it. It's already started. You continued taking it apart based on your own method of starting and taking it apart. Not on the according to Hoyle method. You see, when you start something according to Hoyle, you have to follow all the rules. And in order to start something, you need a beginning. The beginning is the first piece. Here is a big picture. Do you see the big picture? Of course you don't. There's a piece missing. You have no idea whether that piece was white, yellow, brown, red, any color of the rainbow. You have no idea. You assume. You could say, well, the other pieces are black, so that must be black. You don't know that. But you want to assume that and say, yeah, it's a black piece. And I started taking it apart. But you didn't. You can believe that. You have the soul of starting this and taking it apart. But you didn't. Because there is nothing that you started with. Nothing. There, by all intents and purposes, is the first clue, which you don't have. And therefore you can't start and finish taking this jigsaw apart. You see, you can finish it. You can make up your start. You can go all the way. Let's say this is your blaze, the blaze that you made. And you can take all of that apart and then get to that last piece that is the blaze and say you finished and you solved this. And I would say, no, you didn't. Not because of my rules, according to Hoyle, Forrest Fenn's rules. See, when he says start and finish, he means the first clue. That one that's missing that you don't have. That one there. You don't have it. Oh, you should do, you should do. No, you don't. I can see it. Look, there's nothing there. You started an impossible task and decided to make it easy by making up that first piece that you don't have. You say you have it, but you don't. You know what it looks like, that shape there. But you don't have it. You can imagine that you have it. You don't have it. This is your thrill of the chase pony. See, somebody says that people aren't listening and they don't understand me. It's true. They don't understand me. But it's not me. It's Forrest Fenn. I've been for 4 years trying to dumb down for you what Forrest Fenn was saying. And I thought it was easy. I thought it was easy. Not easy, easy. But I thought it was easy to understand listening to Forrest, what he was saying. And I thought explaining that to American searchers or any searchers around the world that they would get it. But they don't get it. Okay. A simple statement. If you do not have, begin it where warm waters halt, you have nothing. You can't start. You never took place in the thrill of the chase that Forrest Fenn has given us. Never. Never did. You played alongside it with your own rules of, I'll make up my own warm waters halt and I'll do the task that's put in front of me. I'll start with nothing. And then when I finish, say that I've done it. What did Forrest say? If you get lost, go back to the beginning. You know what's just happened? You'll solve that can't be correct. You have to put all those jigsaw pieces back together and start with that missing piece. You see, what you have is Jack. He's your substitute for you failing to listen to Forrest Fenn, for your failing to have begin where warm waters halt nailed down, for your failing to start with something. Something ends the chase. You've got nothing. You can see it right there. There's your poem. There's your first clue. And it amounts to a whole load of nothing. A bit like what Forrest Fenn said. All those medals that he was given in the Vietnam War amounted to a whole load of nothing. Starting with nothing, you end with nothing. You can believe that you start to take this jigsaw apart and you finish taking this jigsaw apart, and yet, no, you didn't. You didn't. You continue to take this jigsaw apart and continue to take this jigsaw apart because somebody else already started to take the jigsaw apart. See how it works. You weren't involved. Somebody has warm waters halt nailed down. Now, listen. The easiest way for you to understand it is to understand how they managed to do that. And I've told you. So therefore, telling you, you're correct. The piece is black. And this is what it looks like. What do you have to do? What do you have to do? First, you have to get to the end. You have to finish the jigsaw. You didn't finish it. You tried to start doing it, but you didn't finish it first. So you didn't have the blaze. You didn't have the blaze. The place to start. You didn't have it. You see, once you have the blaze, all you then do is put the blaze to the jigsaw. Then what happens? You have beginning where warm waters halt. Then what happens? You can start. That's how simple it is. That's how simple it is. You never started the thrill of the chase. Never, ever. In your mind, you did. Not even in your imagination. In your mind, you thought you thoroughly completed the thrill of the chase. You and no one else has all the answers. And yet you started with nothing and finished with nothing. Why do I say that? Why do I say that? Because if you ended with nothing, you deserve another turn. How do you go about getting another turn? Go back to the beginning. What's the beginning? It's this jigsaw. You have to now put all these pieces together, end up with nothing, and then try and start with something. Something that's a chase. Now, my English may not be the best English in the world, but it's pretty good. And I am talking English. I guarantee you that I am talking English. Guarantee you that. I know you're not. You can't be. You're American. You don't understand English. You see, my English, when I hear somebody talk to me in English and they say, if you don't have beginning where warm waters halt, you have nothing. This is a scenario I see. I have been set a task. I have been set a task. And for that task, I am required to have beginning where warm waters halt nailed down. I don't have it nailed down. How do I go? go about nailing it down. What is it that Forrest meant? I don't know. I'll look and see what it meant. All the possible scenarios of what it could possibly mean to have begin it where warm waters halt nailed down. And if I'm wise, I will find a piece of information that helps me in the task that I'm about to undertake. And all I need to do is find that missing piece. Once I find that missing piece, I can start. And it's simple. I replace the missing piece. There's the big picture. Oh, I can start. I can start by taking out the piece that I put in, the missing piece. See, you need to see the big picture. Without it, you can't start. You can't start. You never did. So 4 years, I'm telling you, never started. You get upset, call me names and all sorts of things. 4 years, I've told you how to find beginning where warm waters halt. You get upset, call me names, and I'm trying to help you with the being English and understanding what Forrest Fenn is saying. With the information of Forrest Fenn, his not mine. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not upset. I'm not. I am frustrated because more to do with the fact that Forrest Fenn is 100% right in everything that he says, and it's like nobody can be that foolish. No one. With such an opportunity, being there at the beginning, having the information, it's like nobody can be that foolish. It shouldn't take them. Shouldn't take them 10 years. It shouldn't take 10 years. With the information I have, it shouldn't take 10 years. And that was not just to find a chest. That was a secret treasure. You can't start. You can't start with nothing. You can't. In this scenario, you can continue to take those jigsaws apart, piece by piece. Has that completed the task in hand that you were set? And if you say yes, leave the planet Earth now because you have no human mentality in you at all. You cannot start it. It's already been started. You can continue to take it apart. Someone has started it. You may be able to start the finishing process, but you never start taking it apart. And you can't. It's not there. You don't have it. You don't have beginning where warm waters halt. You don't have the big picture. You don't have the big picture. You cannot start without the big picture. You can't. There it is in front of you. As simple as I can lay it out to you. There is nothing. Start the process. Start the process of taking that jigsaw apart. Don't continue taking it apart. Start taking it apart. Get the first piece and take it apart. What? You can't find it. You don't know where it is. What do you mean you don't? You've been told by Forrest Fenn. He told you, here's the first piece. Start with this first piece and solve, decipher the 9 clues in my poem. See, I think it's simple, and you make it so impossible. You make it impossible. You try to do this task, that's impossible. And claim that you have achieved this task, that is impossible. And more than that, many people in the community, have done exactly the same as you have. 5 Leaf, Trusted, Fred, Dave Man from the East, Street, Bill, blah, blah, blah. All of you. You started with nothing. You were told you started with nothing. You were told if you don't have beginning where warm waters halt, you have nothing. Therefore, please listen. We all started with nothing. This is the picture that we had. We never had the big picture. We all started with nothing. All of us. Every single one of us in the chase. Now, the something that we got made us start. Now, you either got something or you didn't. And if you got something and you started, why? You didn't have the big picture, which I've been saying for a long time, in the guise of how can you start with nothing? Once you start with nothing and continue to carry on, you still have nothing. So therefore, when you get to the end, you start with nothing, you finish with nothing. You start without, begin where warm water's halt. Can't be correct. And yet you took all those pieces. They're all gone. You finished. Woohoo! Bully for me. And another person did the same. Didn't have the big picture, took them apart, but they took it apart separately. You see, you could do this in lots of different ways. You could start with the first, I'm putting that in, this one. Let's say this is a cipher solve. You start with that one. Let's say this is trusted solve. You started with that one, and this one was left there. Let's say we had street. You started with this one. Let's say it was 5 week for, I don't know who I've said, but never solve here, never solve here, started, 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 never solve here. Another one here, another one here, another one here, another one here. This is New Mexico, this is Colorado, this is Wyoming, this is Montana, this is Mexico, this is Colorado, this is Montana, Wyoming. All different. You see how many different permutations there are with the same information. You can continue this poem, but you can't start it. Can't. And you can say you did, but this was your first move, or this was your first move. This is beginning where warm water's hot for you. This is beginning where warm water's hot for you. This is beginning where warm water's hot for you. This is beginning where warm water's hot for you. This is beginning where warm water's hot for you. That's beginning, that's beginning, that's beginning, that's beginning, that's beginning, that's beginning, that's beginning. Are they all correct? Is it a correct solve? According to you people, yes. You took this this jigsaw apart, and you completed it. And therefore, you're the winner. And yet, starting without the big picture, it's impossible. You know, have I said that before? What you've done is impossible, and it's only supposed to be difficult. You cannot start with nothing and end up with something. It's impossible. Begin at where warm water's hot needs to be nailed down. Yeah. Otherwise, I have nothing. Okay. You need to look at the big picture. Yeah. So the big picture needs to be complete. Okay. According to her. Oh, follow the rule. You set out the rules. You had 9 rules. Okay. Yeah. If you get lost, go back to the beginning. Begin at where warm water's hot. But if you don't have begin at where warm water's hot, you have nothing. So there's something missing, which is the first clue. Okay, Forrest, that's what I'll do. It's not difficult. You make it difficult. You make it impossible. And then you shout and scream that you're the solver of a poem that you didn't even start. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. You didn't. You didn't. This is where you started. 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 But you weren't starting there. You were continuing something. You were not at the start at all. This is the start where nothing is. You have to put something there. Oh, put in below the home of brown. Something as a chase. Ah, the big picture and something as a chase. The completion of the big picture helps you understand you can begin. Nailed down, as it were. Nailed down. Big picture. Correct. It is beyond belief that you are real searchers. It makes me laugh. Absolutely does. Somebody says to you, you can't begin this unless you have this. This piece is missing. This vital piece is missing. Without it, you have nothing. Yeah, okay, Forrest. Yeah, okay, understand that. Begin it where warm water salt is invited, vital. You said that, Forrest, a few times because you said they didn't understand the importance of the first clue. No, no, they did, didn't they? They didn't understand the importance of it. In other words, they knew that piece was missing. They knew what that piece was. They knew where that piece was. But they didn't start there. Actually, they started there. They started at that place, but didn't realize how important it was. They didn't realize that they needed to have that piece. You can't finish it. You cannot, sorry, you can finish it, but you can't start it. And you have to complete it before you start it and arrive back where you started in another place for the first time by being wise. By starting at the end, getting the big picture, and you want to start in the middle, this is starting in the middle. Somebody has already started it, and you are starting in the middle. No, you don't understand what I'm saying. Yes, you are listening. You understand what I'm saying. And guess what? It's not me saying it. This is Forrest Fenn saying it. You need the big picture. You need to see the big picture. Yes, I see it, Forrest. There's the big picture. Is it? Is it? I don't think so. It's not complete. If you've been wise and found the blaze, look quickly down your quest to cease. What's your quest? What was your quest? Find a chest, go on a spiritual journey, to yada 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 yada. What if your quest was to find the blaze? Because in finding the blaze, you can begin. Hang on. If I find the blaze and I can begin, doesn't that give me warm water's hope? Oh, crap. I find the blaze and I can begin, and I begin it where warm water's hope is, and the chest is where the blaze is, then the chest is at warm water's hope. And because I know where the blaze is, at warm water's hope, and the blaze is past the home of brown, then somewhere in with the blaze and warm water's hope is the home of brown. It's just one place. So I go to the blaze and realize that I can begin. and I'm at just heavy loads of water high because that's the blaze. I'm at the blaze. I see heavy loads of water high, and I look down. There'll be no paddle up my creek. The end is ever drawing nigh. Oh, I'm not far from the finish. Oh, from there it's no place for the meet. Uh-oh, that's a place where people don't normally go. Do I go there? But there's a chest there. I know the chest is there, so if I go there, I'll get the chest. It's no place for the meet. I need to take it in the canyon down. Well, there's no canyon here. So what's being talked of? Oh, words don't mean what you think they do. Oh, what if I take it somewhere not far? But I have to go in there, but not far, because it's not far, but too far to walk. So I go down, but too far to walk. Hmm, how does that work? So not far, but too far to walk. I take it in the canyon down. Hmm. And then I put in that piece because I am at the footy. But because I put in that piece, I can take out a chest. And I know I have the correct warm waters hold because the last clue gives me the chest. And at the correct warm waters hold, I have the chest in my hand because I found a piece that was missing. It's called a blaze. And without it, you have nothing. Because a blaze is warm waters hold. It's rather simple, really. So now I can start the poem. I can read to Forrest what the poem says. You see, if not for my name, I would have nothing. There's nothing. What if it had a name? What if nothing had a name? And that name would be comfortable, best, safe, nailed down. No, you don't understand what I'm saying. I'm talking English, mate, for an English major. I was saying as a major. Oh, and he studied English. Was it meant for Forrest? I've told you the simple truth. Hang on, you're supposed to simplify the poem. It was supposed to be a simple poem. Oh, simple. What's simple then? How easy was the Forrest Fenn Free the Chase poem really? How easy was it? Was it 10 years difficult? 9 years difficult? 8 years difficult? 7 years difficult? 6 years, 5, 4, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year. Is it a month difficult? Is it 25 days difficult? How difficult was it? Was it impossible? Or was it simple? How long would it really take you if you listened to Forrest Fenn and at that point in time that you heard Forrest Fenn, at that point in time, aha moment, at that point in time, how long should it take to solve the Forrest Fenn poem? 10 years. What if I said it would take you less than 10 hours to solve the Forrest Fenn thrill of the chase poem? If, if, what if Forrest Fenn told you the answer? See, it's a whole lot easier when somebody tells you the answer. You know what the answer is? Where's that missing piece? The big picture. And then you can begin. And once you begin, it's over. You see, that was the impossible bit. You can't begin. You cannot begin. Don't know how many times I've said it. You may believe you can, but you can't begin. There is nothing. Begin at where warm waters halt, but you don't have nailed down is that missing piece of the big picture that you can't see. And whilst you can continue to do the task in hand. You can believe, if you choose so, that your warm water salt is correct. And you can continue to take this jigsaw apart. Who are you cheating? Do you think Forrest Fenn would say, oh, well, it doesn't matter? They didn't actually start at warm water's hole. It was made up, and they took the jigsaw apart. So, I suppose that's okay. What is he going to say? I don't think so. You didn't start where I say start or finish where I said finish. So you never jump started the learning curve. You never were teachers with ropes. You never learned 8 words in 5 minutes, was it? Or whatever. Didn't do that. You didn't realize all those words were the same word. So please believe me. Please believe me when I say you never started the thrill of the chase. Forrest Fenn's thrill of the chase starts with the big picture. Forrest Fenn's thrill of the chase starts with beginning where warm water's hot, being nailed down. He told you that. Everybody who started that poem without that piece nailed down nothing but Jack. You created Jack. Or I created Jack. Or Forrest created Jack. But Jack was created because people couldn't find beginning where warm water's hot and couldn't nail it down. And some people realized that this missing piece was where they start. They didn't realize it was where they ended. They didn't realize that they had to complete this before they could start this. And without realizing the importance of it, they walk past it. And the little girl from India, she's waiting. She's waiting. You see, for some, even if this was the first clue, and correct, spot on, shall we say, even if it was spot on, instead of finishing here, they went here, 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 until they got 9 of them. Not realizing the importance of the first clue. To arrive back where you started and know the place for the first time. Are you back where you started, over here, over here, over here, over here, over here, over here, over here? Of course you're not. You make a mockery of the information you were given. You disrespect Forrest Fenn by claiming that you solved a poem that you haven't even started. You disrespect him in that you were told, I felt like an architect. I built that poem. You were told, I crafted that poem. People think they're just simple words, but I crafted that poem. Whatever, however the statement was, excuse me. How can you say that the solve is you didn't wear warm water's hole? It is beyond belief. It really is. Really beyond belief that you think you didn't wear warm water's hole as the first clue. Because you were told begin to wear warm water's hole as the first clue. Nothing is as it seems, and words don't mean what you think they do. So therefore, if begin to wear warm water's hole is the first clue, maybe you need to understand what that means. Therefore, it becomes the first clue. Therefore, you will see the big picture. And therefore, you arrive back where you started and know the place for the first time. You see, the end, my friend, is the blaze. The beginning, my friend, is the blaze. If you don't know the blaze, you don't know anything. If you don't know the blaze, you don't know warm water's hole. If you don't know the blaze, you don't know the home of ground. And without that, there's no big picture. And without the big picture, you never started through the chase. Listen to the words. Arrive back where you started and know the place for the first time. You are not 500 feet from where you started. You are not a mile from where you started. You're not 2 miles from where you started. You're not 10 miles from where you started. You are where you started. Knowing the place for the first time. Now, please listen. If you started 200 feet from the treasure chest, if you started there, many 500 feet, but you started 200 feet from the treasure chest, and you got back to that 200 feet, what are you realizing? It's done. It's done. It's done. You have the chest in your hand. At that point in which you finished, you're finishing it. Or at that point in which you finished, you'll press the cease. You started and then finished again. only when you have something would you not have Jack. You don't understand a single word I'm saying. It's fine. I've tried to dumb it down as much as I can. From the words of Forrest Fenn to your ears. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. Here is the big picture, minus the big picture. Here is Warm Waters Holt, minus Warm Waters Holt. Can you start the poem? Seriously, can you start the poem? There is the big picture without the big picture, and there is Warm Waters Holt without Warm Waters Holt. Can you start? Of course you can't. There's nothing there. You have nothing. Doesn't matter what solve is. It doesn't matter what solve is, even if you have Warm Waters Holt and you don't know the importance of it. You have nothing. You have to have where Warm Waters Holt nailed down. That will tell you the importance of it. Now, if you have begin at where Warm Waters Holt and you know the importance of it, guess what's likely to happen? You're likely to go somewhere people do not normally go. You are likely to reach a point that nobody would ever stumble upon. Ever. You are likely to reach a point where you're right back where you started and know the place for the first time. But you will have something that ends the chase. You will have that missing piece. You will have the blaze. See, even if you guess the right Warm Waters Holt, without knowing the importance of the blaze, the last clue, or the first clue, the clue that gives you the chest. So what happened is, at the blaze, that is the last clue. It gives you the first clue. Is it then the first clue? Because you know that it's the last clue, which tells you the first clue, which is the same as the last clue, which means you have the chest. Very confusing, isn't it? To arrive back where you started and know the place for the first time. Because once you know the place, what does it become? It's almost like a paradox. You have to finish before you start it, but because you finished it, you know the start. And if you know the start, then that's the finish. Because if you know the start, that's the end. Because if you start it, then you obviously finish it because you know where the beginning is. But if you know where the beginning is, that's the finish because that's when you have the chest. Do you find yourself doing a loop? Watch her, that woman's dangerous. Do you find yourself doing a loop? You talk in circles? Do you have all the pieces of information that you need to understand the thrill of the chase? Well, I'd say yes, you do. All of it. So I would say to all you people that managed somehow, miraculously, with divine help, sleeping, seeing it in a dream, spending hours on the internet, However you manage this fate, this miracle, feet, sorry, let's do feet. One foot on the other, let's do feet instead of fate. Depends how you speak in English, doesn't it? You managed to do this unbelievable thing, and that's to get something from nothing. A bit like chaos. In the beginning, there was nothing. In the beginning, there was nothing. And now there's something. So we need to go back to the beginning. Oh, that means if you go back to the beginning, you go back to nothing, which is beginning where one water's whole, which is that. It's talking circles, don't you? And yet those circles lead you to the start, end, start, end, start, end. When you talk in circles, jump start the learning curve. Jump start the learning curve. To arrive back where you started and know your place for the first time. Do you begin to the end, or do you end to the beginning? I don't suppose it matters as long as you get there, does it? As long as you know the importance of that place, that beginning, or that end. As long as you know the importance of it, you're able to fill in the gaps. And then complete the task in hand. Start with the first clue. Continue, contiguous, continuous. So you manage to just continue. I've started, so I'll finish. Isn't that what I said? I said that you would, if you come up with, this is your warm water salt. Incorrect, but it's yours. And you're going to start with it because you believe it's yours. Without the big picture, you believe it's yours. Now, from that point on, you're wrong. No, from that point, you're wrong. From that point on, you're still wrong. You started in the wrong place, you'll finish in the wrong place. Or you may finish in the right place, but not know how important it is. Or you may start in the right place and not finish in the right place, not knowing how important it is. So you start in the wrong place and you complete all of this. Did you do what Forrest Fenn wanted? Did you? Is it Forrest Fenn's solution? Is it Forrest Fenn's soul? Or is it yours? It's definitely not Forrest Fenn's because you never started here. You don't even know about it. Can't be his soul, but it can be yours because you started here. Or it can be yours because you started here. It could be yours because you started here. It could be yours because you started here. Do you see how that works with all the people in the chase that have souls? You all have souls, and it completes this task. Completes it. Brilliant, amazing, astounding. You managed to get rid of all these pieces of the jigsaw. Is it what Forrest asked you to do? Is it what Forrest asked you to do? Did you have the correct solve, or did you just have a solve? I put it to you that you just had a proposal. I proposed to you, Major Forrest Burke Fenn, that this is warm water's halt, and I did everything you said. And I got to the point where I found a chest, but the chest wasn't there. And you forward, and you moved it, and blah, blah, blah. You pulled it, blah, blah, blah. You did this, you did that. and I'm going to sue your family, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, without seeing the big picture, without understanding the importance, without knowing what was worth knowing and what wasn't worth knowing, without going to a place people would not normally go, without doing anything that Forrest Fenn said. You managed, apparently, to do correctly what Forrest Fenn said. No, no, you did what you intended to do. You started at a warm waters halt, and if this is the blaze, you finished at the blaze because you said, "This is my warm waters halt," and from the warm waters halt that I made up, this one here, or it could be this one, or this one, or this one, this one, it could be Montana, New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, it could be anywhere. But you started there, and from that point, what did you do? I need a canyon. There's my canyon. That must be the canyon. Well, I have to take it not far, but too far to walk. Hmm. So around here somewhere, there should be a Homer Brown. Let's try and do like Denverish. Oh, there we go. Molly Brown's house. Oh, from her house, it's no place for the meat. Oh, let me have a look. Oh, that's my no place for the meat. Devil's whatever. Satan's kitchen. Satan's armpit. Satan's stuff. Devil's stuff. Now I'm at no place for the meat. Hmm. The end is ever drawing nigh. What does that mean? I don't really know. What does the vlog say? Well, they say it's turning left. Some say it's near. Not much different than not far but too far to walk. Well, let me have a look on Google Earth. No place. Oh, there's a place called Meek itself to do with some famous bloke in the past. I'm just making this up. No, it doesn't exist really. That'll be my place, Meek. And you continue to do that until you get to the point where you go, okay, I followed it through. Everything makes sense. I started at Warm Waters Halt. I followed the poem all the way through. These are the places that it must be. Now I need a blaze. Hmm. Okay. Has to be close, and then I have to look down. So, well, that's a tree. That's a silver tree compared to the rest of them. And that's a white rock. Which is the best blaze out of those two? I'll tell you what. I'll go there, and then when I look, I'll look at both. Or you go, well, Forrest Fenn said in the Thrill of the Chase book, and this. So this is Warm Waters Halt. This is the Canyon Down. This is blah, blah, blah. And I've got all the information from the book. It tells with the poem. And I'm done. I just need to find a blaze. Come on. Stop it. It's unreal. Words don't mean what you think they do. And if you're following that poem, with those words that don't mean what you think they do, that Forrest Fenn looked up, no. And none of those souls, none of them, doing that way, anyone, ever, is going to say, I wish I thought of that. I wish I thought of that. I should have thought of that. I'm saying it isn't happening. Do you know why I know it isn't happening? Any guesses? Why it isn't happening? Because it isn't happening. I don't know of any more proof that you need that your solve is incorrect, even though you've got loads of it. I don't know any more proof that you need that your solve isn't correct. Because nobody is saying to you when you tell them, this is my solve. No one's saying, oh, I wish I'd have thought of that. And by no one, I mean the whole community. Mouth dropping open. A sudden realization. Wish I'd have thought of that. No. No. They say, no, your solve's wrong. And they point out to you why your solve's wrong. And you go, no, 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 my solve's right, your solve's wrong. The fact that you're arguing says that you're both wrong, or all three of you, or all 10 of you. You're supposed to, at some point, with the 50, 70, 100, 300 people that have solved the poem, you're supposed to, at some point, when you all get together and claim that you found it, the rest, if there's 300 of you, 299 people are going to go, oh, I wish I thought of that. And they're not. So why aren't they? Because it's not the correct solve. It can't be. So see a piece of yourself in the mirror, have a little look. Don't hold it up to everybody else. Hold it up to yourself. Take a good look in it and go, why has nobody said, why didn't I think of that? Why haven't they? Do you think you have the correct solve when nobody, out of all the people that have solved it, agree with you? Not one of them turns around and goes, well, probably one of them, depends what sort of sycophant they are, says, oh, yeah. Actually, they do say it. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But the solve's on my channel. What? If you have the correct solve, how is it possible you can agree with anyone? That's impossible. I've got the correct solve, and I think what you're saying is correct. But didn't you just say they have the correct solve? It's possible for you to both have the correct solve. So nobody agrees with you. You don't agree with me. I haven't told you to solve. You agree, you don't agree with the method that you have no idea is correct or incorrect. You just don't agree with it. Maybe because you want yours to be correct. I don't know. I don't know the reasons behind why you disagree with Forrest Fenn. I don't know those reasons. I don't know. But it's funny, and that's why I'm not really frustrated. That's why it's really funny. I'm telling you what Forrest Fenn said, and I imagine this is the funny part. I imagine that I'm Forrest Fenn, and I'm telling you what I said. It's in a place people would not normally go. I'm Forrest Fenn. I'm telling you that, and you argue with me. Can you imagine what? Sorry, I shouldn't do that because like that's what happens when I normally finish like doing streams and that. I think about it and it makes me laugh. Forrest Fenn is sitting in front of you and he's telling you it's in a place where people would not normally go, and you argue it. Nobody will stumble on my chest, and you argue it. If you don't have the unit wear warm water salt nailed down, and you argue it, and I'm thinking, Forrest says something and you argue that it's wrong. It's like, sorry, Forrest Fenn says something and you argue it as though I have no idea what he's talking about. That's unbelievable. It really is. I know the chest is wet. No, I know the chest is wet. It's funny watching you. I'm saying something that Forrest Fenn said, and you have a hissy fit about it. And I'm thinking, If Forrest Fenn was sitting in front of you telling you that, and you said what you said, would you carry on? Would you carry on having your fit if Forrest Fenn was sat in front of you saying the exact same words that I'm saying? I know the chest is wet. Did the hot water affect the patina? It's above 5,000 feet, below 10,200 feet. Leave your friend in the car. And you argue that information. And you say you don't understand. You don't like my soul. If I was Forrest Fenn, explaining to you how you do this, here is begin it where warm waters halt. Without that, you have nothing. Start and finish this. Start and finish this. Start at the very beginning and take all those jigsaw pieces away. That's what I want you to do. I want you to begin it where warm waters halt. Okay, off you go. And you do it. And then you turn around and go, done it, Forrest. This is it. And he says, don't tell me you found a chest. I don't need to know your name. Read me what the poem says. Do you know why he says, don't tell me you found a chest? Any idea? Somebody must by now. I can't believe that you don't. This is where the chest was. And you never had it. So you couldn't have started. And if the chest was there, you definitely didn't finish. So if you don't know where warm waters halt is, where the chest is, how could you even start, let alone finish a chase? Impossible. Forrest Fenn knows. You haven't even started my chase. You have not even started. This piece of information that you have not got is where my chest was. I know you didn't find it. The piece of information that you don't have is where my chest is. And you don't have that piece of information. And even if you did have that piece of information, you have told me you didn't understand the importance of it. Because here is where you started. It's correct. That's the right place to start. Only you didn't know it was. It doesn't exist in your soul. So you then proceed to walk away from it, not knowing the chest is here. Only one spot. Only one spot. The spot you're supposed to start and finish at, and arrive back where you started in those places the first time. That's what's supposed to happen. So imagine I'm Forrest, and I'm telling you, don't tell me you found a chest. I don't need to know your name. This warm waters halt that you told me, 5 leaf, no. This warm waters halt that you told me, trusted, no. This warm waters halt that you told me, Troy, no. This and this and this and the Dave, man from the East, etc. No, that's not warm waters halt. And because it's not warm waters halt, I know you didn't find a chest. Don't tell me that. Because if you started in the wrong place, you definitely ended in the wrong place. See how easy that is to make that statement? Like if I was Forrest Fenn making that statement to you, don't tell me you found a chest. I'm Forrest Fenn. I know there was only one spot. And if you didn't have that spot, you didn't find the chest. You didn't have it nailed down. That's where the chest was, in the spot that you didn't have nailed down. The Blaze, the Homer Brown, and Warm Waters Halt. You haven't told me that. So you do not need to tell me you found a chest because I know you didn't. I know who you are and I know you didn't find a chest. I know you're not in the right state. I know you're not in the right part of the right state. I know that you have 9 clues that take you away from the point where the chest is, even though you started at the point where the chest is. I know you didn't find a chest. Don't tell me you found a chest. What you need to tell me is the name of this place that's missing. How you can start at beginning where warm water's hold. That's what you need to tell me. Because I know if you tell me that, I'll listen. And if you tell me what the blaze is, I'll listen. And if you definitely tell me what the Homer Brown is, I'll listen. And if you read that to me, I'll listen. Because you listen to me. So imagine I'm Forrest Fenn saying those things to you. And tell me you found a chest. Don't tell me you found a chest. Don't tell me you found a chest. Because I know who you are. I know your soul. And it does not have begin at where warm water's hot nailed down. And you can only continue to believe that you are doing what I asked you to do. You cannot start what I asked you to do because you don't have it nailed down. That's what Forrest says. That's what I've said that Forrest says in English in order that you understood because you didn't understand Forrest and you don't understand me. And yet I'm telling you in simple English, as simple as I can make it. Here is the big picture without the big picture. You need to complete the big picture before you can start. Find a blaze. Be wise. Start at the correct warm water salt. Finish at the correct warm water salt. Because guess what? If I'm Forrest Fenn, I'm telling you, you won't know you have the correct warm water salt until you have the chest in your hand. I'm telling you that. Here I am, Forrest Fenn, telling you, you won't know you have the correct warm water salt until you have the chest in your hands. But if you're wise and found the blaze, you will have that warm water salt. And that means you can begin because you finished. Why am I thinking that? Right back where you started another place for the first time. I found the blaze and I finished. And because I found the blaze and finished, because I found the blaze, I can now begin. I should have started. Find the missing piece. Find the big picture. Begin it where warm waters hold. See the poem moves. Begin it where warm waters hold. And take the chest and go in peace. The last clue gets you the chest because you've been wise and found the blaze. Last clue gets the chest. And you know you have the correct warm waters hold. So basically, you're just going to start at the beginning and get the chest and go in peace. That's it. That's it. It's done. Begin it where warm waters halt and take the chest and go in peace. That's all you need. That's all you need. If you know the answer, that's all you need. Begin it where warm waters halt, and take the chest and go in peace. The rest of it, you already understand. You already know. You don't need the rest of that because you've already been wise. And at that point, what's that? Oh, an aha moment, isn't it? Aha. Oh, oh, monsieur. I see. I go. I see. See, see. I see. I see. I go. I get. I go. I see. I go. I get. I go. Simple, really. Can you do that? I see. I go. I get. I go. I'm searching. Right straight to it. And the thing you need to worry about is it's in a place that people would not normally go. Are you going to go there? No place for the meek. Are you going to go there? I'm not. Forrest Fenn might have. See, there's something rather special about that man. He managed to think the way that he thinks. Now, if you have a disability, tell me where it is, I'll get it for you. Hmm. Well, I'm not going there. Okay, here, what is being said? Stop the BS. Just, I, I don't know. I don't know. I don't see what's difficult about the information that you give them. I really don't. There is not 10 years of that information. There should not be 10 years of that information. Now, I will tell you the honest truth. Forrest never said a single word. Not one word. This would never ever get sold. Ever. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. So you don't realize how much Forrest was helping everybody. You say, oh yeah, Forrest was trying to take people away from the spot. Forrest was trying to get people out of the places. Told digging gypsies to get out of Montana or stay in Montana or something. Yeah, that's not sending someone away. That's telling someone read the poem. Who was close to me or Dale? If I told you, you'd faint. It's faint. So imagine I'm Forrest, and the words that I'm giving you are his words. How many times would you have argued with Forrest about what he was saying to you? I know I did. Absolutely, I did. But I argued what I thought he was saying, not what he said. Because when I listened to what he said, Mario, there's nothing there. How can you start with nothing there? And I said, I can't. How can I start when there's nothing there? There's no picture. How can I start something that's already started? Unless I get that first point, I can only continue what somebody's already started. All of you. How many souls have I done? I can continue your soul and your soul and your soul and your soul and your soul. I can do this soul. I can do this solve, 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 this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. And none of them are correct. And I'd say it for Forrest. I don't know what you're doing. I have no idea what you're saying. 1 minute you're saying this, the next minute you're saying that. How am I supposed to solve your poem when there's nowhere to start? There's nowhere to start, Forrest. It's all so vague. The hints from the book, I can start in Montana. The hints from the book, I can start in Wyoming. The hints from the book, I can start in Colorado. And the very same hints, I can start in New Mexico. And when I start, it's my interpretation of what you wrote in the book or what people have said you wrote in the book or souls that I look on Google Earth and go, right, if I start in Wyoming, where's the best warm water soul? Where is the confirmation for any of that? Nowhere. Did you really put a chest out there? Is there really a freaking soul for this poem? Or is it just a wind up? Is this poem just a wind up? There isn't even a soul. How many thousands of people going and looking? There's not one correct soul for this poem. That's how many souls I did. There's not a soul for this freaking poem. It's an impossible poem. No, it isn't. It's just difficult. It's impossible. I've done every possible thing that I can do in and with this poem, and there is no confirmer that I have done the correct thing. Nothing to confirm it. Only my imagination and my greed and desire to prove that I solved it. And then, yes, it's got to be this. Has to be this. This is something that nobody else has done, and it has to be this. And those words, they flipping take me to that place. They take me to it. Follow the flow. So I'm not going to say it because it's probably wrong. But begin it where, not begin it where. The warm west, the high warm west rain, wet table. I think that's how it is. Just off memory, a long time ago now. So I start because it's a true event. The high warm west rain at the south corner of Wyoming, that exists. It's a real natural event. And the place itself, that exists. I told you this in my early videos. So I start there because of the anagrams. And I follow those statements in the poem. And I believe it has to be this. Now, Mr. Fibley, you say there isn't a better soul than your cipher? Oh, I beg to differ, mate. The anagram solve, he's all over the cipher. Starts at Forrest Fenn's house. Takes you to Table Mountain in Wyoming. And takes you on a journey to an end spot. Yours does. And it's just a poem. And you don't need anything from Forrest to help you do that. Nothing. Not the slightest bit of information to help you do that. So you can imagine that for yourself. Here is the poem, all of these letters, all of these words, and you can imagine that something else was written because the words don't mean what you think they do. That's what you're told. And what does it matter? What does it matter what the words are as long as the person reading them understands what it is you're saying? So if you did anagram it, that's everything that Forrest said. It's not messing with the poem. You are imagining those words differently. And that takes you to a place. And it's way better inside it. And it's correct to every single letter. So when I say I've done all the solves in the poem, I've done them all. How many have you done? And they're all wrong. And I fell out with Forrest lots of times. He didn't know it because he was here and here. Yeah, I know. Start again, go back to the beginning. Nobody is saying to you, why not I think of that? Can't be correct. Your soul. I'm a NASA dropout, not a redneck. How many people in the thrill of the chase could consider themselves to be in that level? How many children do you know that could work for NASA, that could get to the point that they would drop out? How many? Show the poem to a child, they have better eyes. Well, don't ask me to explain that. They have better eyes. What? What in the heck has that got to do with your soul? This child that's going to work for NASA but drop out. What's it got to do with your soul? It's crazy to even imagine. Well, no, not crazy to imagine. You can imagine it because there I was thinking, oh, yeah, look at this. This makes sense. Oh, no, it doesn't. Oh, no, it doesn't. Decipher the 9 clues in my poem. What the heck is a cipher? Well, it's okay to do this cipher, but what is a cipher? What is Forrest saying when he says decipher the clues in my poem? Oh, word search. Oh, Roman numerals. Oh, to the letters. Wow. Wow. That puts a whole new look on it. Decipher. What is a cipher that I can D it? Just one cipher. Your cipher is the correct cipher, not the cipher that Forrest Fenn created. That can't be correct. Just the one that everybody knows. That probably already got done in the first 2 years of the Thrill of the Chase by professional treasure hunters who gave up on it, by the professors who gave up on it within the first 2 years. Those people that were smart enough to realize they were wrong gave up on it. Those people who were smarter than the average bear boo boo, they gave up on it within the first 2, 3 years. So people come up with solves 6 years down the road and think they're the first person to think of it. not realizing that those souls were done and given up way before they even saw the thrill of the chase. And even if they weren't, while they were doing the thrill of the chase, those people were already doing those souls. Professional people whose job it is to solve treasure hunts, who do ciphers every day for breakfast. You're telling me that simple cipher that you do, there is not one treasure hunter in the whole world that would have done it? I reckon Ben could do that cipher. I reckon Ben knows at least, I don't know, 6 people that potentially could have done that cipher. Possibly at least 6 people that he knows. I reckon Randy could have done that cipher. What I'm saying is, when you try to explain that cipher, these people can look at it and go, hmm, let's see what he's saying. Hmm, no. See what he's saying, but no. Got to go. Let me just put that on. It didn't pause, did it? Nah, I bet it didn't. We're still recording? Yeah, we're still recording. Yeah, so, no, sorry. It's just difficult to believe. So, the truth is the truth. You like it or not, can't like that. Start with nothing, you finish with nothing. Don't know how many times I've said the same thing. Need a big picture? You didn't have it. Wasn't complete. Didn't understand it. Piece missing. You need to find that piece first. You need to finish before you can start. If you've been wise and found the blaze, look quickly down the quest to cease. That was what you're looking for. Once you found the blaze, once you knew what the blaze was, you could start. See how it works. Find the blaze. Find the blaze. Know where to start. Don't find the blaze. Don't know where to start. You can't start and then find the blaze. No. You finish and then you start. And you know the place for the first time because it isn't the finish. It's not the finish. The blaze is not the finish. Warm Water's Halt is the finish. It's the start and end. That's how simple it is. And the little girl from India, you can't get any closer. You can't get any closer than the start and the end. Begin and end. So for now.